Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're taking a deep dive into the exciting world of data science.
And we've got a fantastic resource to guide us.
Right. We're talking about the Career Compass report on data scientists.
And the really cool thing is this report comes from the Life Skill Foundation in India.
I know I was impressed when I saw that.
They're all about giving young people practical skills to succeed in their careers, so you know this report is going to be good.
Yeah, no kidding. They're focused on real-world application, not just theory.
Totally. So what exactly does a data scientist do according to this report?
Well, imagine being a detective, right? But instead of a magnifying glass, you've got algorithms.
And instead of a crime scene, you've got mountains of data.
Exactly. Your mission. To uncover hidden patterns, solve complex problems. Basically, helping organizations make smarter decisions, all through the power of data.
It's like being a data detective.
You know, it's funny, I was reading an article the other day about how data scientists helped a coffee company increase their sales.
Really? How'd they do that?
So they analyzed all kinds of data. I'm talking customer purchases, weather patterns, even social media trends.
Wow, okay.
And they realized people were way more likely to buy iced coffee on sunny afternoons
Makes sense.
if they saw their friends posting about it online.
Ah, the power of influence.
It's amazing what you can learn just by looking at the right data.
And that's what makes this field so fascinating, right?
Absolutely. This isn't just some abstract concept. It's about real-world impact.
Total.
The report even mentioned how data scientists are helping doctors personalize cancer treatments.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
They do it based on a patient's genetic makeup.
See, that's the why now of it all.
What do you mean?
We're drowning in data. Every click online, every
Yeah.
purchase, every step you track, it's all data.
It's true. I never really thought of it that way.
And this data explosion, it's happening everywhere, not just tech.
Right, you're right. And this report, it really highlights that.
Does it mention any specifics?
Yeah, they talk about how the demand for data scientists, especially in Indian tech hubs like Bangalore and Hyderabad, it's huge.
Makes sense. It's a booming field.
So not only is it intellectually stimulating, but it's also a really smart career move.
Speaking of finding the right career, this report dives into something called the Holland Code. Familiar?
Holland Code, vaguely, yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me.
It's basically a way to figure out your personality type and then see what careers might be a good fit.
Okay, I remember that.
And guess what? Data science. It's a great match for investigative and realistic personality types.
Interesting. So does that mean if I don't fit into one of those categories, I should just give up on my data science dreams?
Not necessarily, it's just one piece of the puzzle. But it does make you think, what do those types even mean in the context of data science?
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. Like, what makes someone an investigative type?
Well, they're usually naturally curious. Those are the folks who love to analyze information, solve problems, really get to the bottom of things. They're not afraid to ask the tough questions.
Okay, so like a detective.
Exactly. And then there's the realistic types. They're all about practicality, results-oriented. They want to work with tangible things and see a real impact from their efforts.
Okay, I think I'm more of a realistic type. I like seeing things through to the end.
And the great thing about data science is it brings those two together. You're unraveling mysteries hidden within data and then using those findings to make a real difference in the world.
It's not just number crunching, it's creative problem solving.
Exactly. And that's where the roadmap in this report comes in handy. It's like your GPS for navigating the world of data science.
Okay, I like that. A data science GPS. So where does it tell us to start?
Well, the first stop is building a strong foundation in math and computer science.
During high school.
Exactly. It's all about laying that groundwork early on.
Makes sense. You got to have something to build on.
Think of it like building a skyscraper. You need a solid foundation to support all those amazing floors you'll be adding later.
I like that analogy.
Okay.
Okay, so high school is all about the basics. Then what? College.
You got it. The report recommends going for a bachelor's degree in a field like data science, statistics, computer science, or even straight-up mathematics.
So anything that screams, I love working with data.
Pretty much. And here's the thing, while you're hitting the books, it's crucial to get some hands-on experience too.
How do they recommend doing that?
Internships, personal projects, even those data science competitions.
Ah, so you can put your skills to the test in the real world.
Exactly. When you're applying for jobs later on, wouldn't it be awesome to show off a portfolio of projects where you've actually analyzed data and solved problems?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That would be way more impressive than just listing off courses on a resume.
For sure. And this report even gives some cool examples of the kinds of projects you could tackle.
Like what?
Remember that coffee company we were talking about before?
Yeah, the one that figured out when people wanted iced coffee.
Exactly. You could try something similar. Analyze data from your favorite store or website, see what you can find.
That's a really good idea.
It's all about taking those concepts from the classroom and actually putting them into practice.
So it's not just about memorizing formulas. It's about knowing how to use them to uncover real insights.
You got it. Now, the report also mentions getting a master's degree.
Is that essential to be a data scientist?
It's not always a deal breaker, but it can definitely give you an edge.
Like a superpower?
Kind of. It allows you to dive deeper into specific areas of data science, like machine learning or artificial intelligence.
So it shows potential employers that you're serious about this field.
Exactly. It's like saying, I'm not just dipping my toes in the data pool, I'm ready to swim with the sharks.
I like that analogy. But I know all this talk about degrees and specializations. It's easy to get caught up in the what of data science. What about the how and the why?
You're right. It's not just about what you know, it's about what you can do with that knowledge and why those skills even matter in the first place.
So how does this report break down the skills you need?
They highlight three key areas: knowledge, skills, and abilities.
Hold on. At first glance, those seem pretty similar. What's the difference?
It's like this. Knowledge is like having all the ingredients to bake a cake.
Okay, I'm listening.
But just having flour, sugar, and eggs doesn't automatically make you a star baker.
That's where the skills come in.
Precisely. You need the actual baking know-how, the techniques and experience to turn those ingredients into a masterpiece.
Okay, so knowledge is like the what and skills are the how. What about abilities? Where do they fit in?
Abilities are about being able to present that beautifully decorated cake to a panel of judges and convince them it's the best cake they've ever tasted.
So you're saying it's not enough to just have the knowledge and the skills. You also need to be able to explain it, to communicate the value of your work.
Exactly. Abilities are all about using your knowledge and skills to solve real-world problems and communicate your findings in a clear, compelling way.
I get it. It's about having the whole package. So what are some of the specific knowledge areas that are important for aspiring data scientists?
The report emphasizes understanding statistical methods, algorithms, and programming languages.
So that's where that strong math and computer science foundation comes in handy.
Absolutely. But remember, it's not just about memorizing formulas. It's about knowing how to actually use them.
Which is where the skills component comes in.
Exactly. It's about being able to use programming languages like Python or R to clean data, analyze it, visualize it, all those hands-on tasks.
So to recap, you need a solid foundation of knowledge to understand the theory, you need the practical skills to work with the data, and then you need the abilities to communicate what it all means and actually use those insights to make an impact.
You've got it. And the report, it doesn't shy away from addressing some of the myths surrounding data science.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, one big one is that you have to be a math genius.
Oh, I've definitely heard that one.
Right. People think you need to be some kind of calculus wizard, but that's not necessarily true.
So don't let the math scare you off, right?
Exactly. It's more about having a good grasp of mathematical concepts and knowing how to apply them.
And having those problem-solving skills we talked about earlier.
Definitely. The report emphasizes that data science is a blend of skills. Creativity, problem solving, communication. It's a very diverse field.
That's encouraging to hear. What other myths did they debunk?
Another big one is that you absolutely need a PhD to break into the field.
Really? I thought that was pretty standard for data scientists.
It can be beneficial, especially for certain research-focused roles, but it's not a hard and fast rule for every data science job.
So what matters more than a specific degree?
Experience. This report, they hammer home the importance of building practical experience.
Through those internships and projects we talked about earlier.
Exactly. It's all about being able to demonstrate what you can do with data, not just what degrees you have.
That makes a lot of sense. Actions speak louder than words, or in this case, degrees.
Right. Now, remember that section we briefly touched on earlier, the what they do on the job part?
Yeah, I was hoping we could circle back to that. I'm really curious to get a better picture of what a typical day looks like for a data scientist.
Absolutely. And the report actually does a great job of painting that picture. They make it clear that it's not just sitting at a computer all day crunching numbers.
There's more to it than that.
Oh yeah, much more. It's a very dynamic cycle. It involves collecting data from all sorts of sources, then cleaning that data.
Data cleaning. What's that all about?
It's a crucial step. Basically, you're making sure the data is accurate and consistent, getting rid of any errors or inconsistencies.
So it's like tidying up before you start cooking.
Exactly. You don't want any bad data ruining your analysis. And once the data is all cleaned up, then comes the fun part, exploration.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
This is where you really get to dig into the data. You're looking for patterns, identifying trends, basically trying to uncover hidden insights that might not be obvious at first glance.
Sounds like detective work.
It is. And once you've uncovered those insights, then you need to communicate them to others. That's another key part of the job.
So those communication skills we talked about earlier, they're super important.
Oh yeah, they're essential. You need to be able to explain complex technical concepts to both technical and non-technical audiences.
Because at the end of the day, it's about using data to make better decisions. And that requires effective communication.
Exactly. So to circle back, data science is so much more than just crunching numbers. It's dynamic, it's challenging, and it's a field with real-world impact.
It sounds like a pretty amazing career path. But let's be real for a second. Is it just a passing fad, or is data science here to stay?
This report leaves no doubt data science is here to stay, and the demand for skilled professionals is only going to keep growing, especially in India.
The report mentioned that demand was particularly high in India's tech hubs, right? Places like Bangalore and Hyderabad.
Absolutely. But it's not just limited to the tech sector. Data science is transforming all sorts of industries. Healthcare, finance, even government. Hospitals are using data to predict patient readmissions. Banks are using it to detect fraud. City planners are using it to optimize traffic flow.
Wow. So it's impacting our lives in ways we probably don't even realize.
Exactly. Data is everywhere, and data scientists, they're the ones who can make sense of it all.
It sounds like there are tons of different career paths within the world of data science.
There are, and the report does a really good job of outlining some of the most common job titles you might come across.
Like what? Give us the rundown.
Well, there's the classic data scientist role, but you'll also see titles like data analyst, business analyst, even machine learning engineer.
So many options. Are they all pretty similar, or do they have different areas of focus?
Each role has its own unique flavor, but they all center around using data to solve problems and make better decisions.
So for someone just starting to explore the data science universe, it's a good idea to familiarize themselves with all those different roles.
Definitely. And you know what? The report doesn't just stop at traditional job titles.
What do you mean?
It also has this whole section on similar occupations. It's like, if you like data but aren't sure about being a full-on data scientist, what else is out there?
Okay, so it's like a buffet of data-driven career options. I like it. What kind of roles are we talking about here?
Well, they talk about data engineers, for one.
Oh, right. Those are the ones who build and maintain the systems that collect and store all that data, right?
Exactly. They're the ones making sure the data pipeline is flowing smoothly. Without them, data scientists wouldn't have any data to work with in the first place.
It's like they're the architects of the data world.
That's a great way to put it. And then you've got folks who specialize in data visualization.
Oh, yeah. They're the ones who turn all those numbers and spreadsheets into those eye-catching charts and graphs, right?
Exactly. They make the data come to life, tell a story that anyone can understand.
Which is so important because not everyone speaks fluent data.
Exactly. And the report even gets into more specialized areas like AI ethics.
Oh, interesting. What does that involve?
So as you can imagine, with all this data floating around, there are some big questions about how it's used, right? AI ethics is all about making sure that data is used responsibly, ethically, and doesn't end up, creating bias or causing harm.
That's super important work. It's
Yeah.
like they're the guardians of responsible data use.
Precisely. It's a growing field, and this report does a great job of highlighting its significance.
This report has been such a fantastic resource. Honestly, it's more than just a report. It's like a launch pad for anyone who wants to explore the world of data. They don't just throw information at you. They really guide you through it.
Absolutely. And what I love is how they go beyond just skills and job titles. They really emphasize the importance of finding the right educational path.
Yeah, they even include a section on recommended colleges in India, right?
Exactly. And they break it down by tiers so you can see which colleges might be the best fit for you. And they realize that traditional college isn't for everyone, so they highlight other options too, like online courses and boot camps.
It's really incredible how they've made this information so accessible. No matter where you're starting from, there's a path for you.
And it all comes back to the Life Skill Foundation's mission. They're all about empowering young people, giving them the skills and guidance they need to thrive in this data-driven world. It's inspiring.
It really is. So if you're out there listening to this and feeling even a little bit curious about the world of data, I hope you take away one key message.
And what's that?
You don't have to be a math whiz to be a data scientist.
Mm.
You just need curiosity, a passion for problem solving, and a willingness to learn.
And this report gives you all the tools you need to start your data science journey.
Exactly. It's like they've handed you the keys to the data kingdom. Now go explore. That's all we have for today's deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.